Annex Mandatory Regulation, Annex 1 Legislative Requirements, and Annex 2 Mandatory Regulation. I'm your reporter, Jose Isabelo B. De La Cruz Jr., BS Marine Transportation, second year. Marpor Annex 1 Mandatory Regulation, Chapter 1, General Regulation 1 Definition, International Convention for the Private of Pollution, MARPOL. Annex 1 Regulation for the Prevent of Pollution by All is entered into 1st to October 1983. What are the different annexes to MARPOL 73 by 7E? Annex 1 Regulation for the Prevention of Pollution from Oil entered into force on October 2, 1983. Annex include not only regulation relating to the construction of ships for the protection of the marine environment but also a general prohibition on discharge oil into the sea. The discharging of oil mixture, however, is permissible in compliance with the discharging regulation. Furthermore, all the important operational event that takes place on board, particularly the treatment and storage of oil residues and oily bilge water, should be maintained in an oil record book. Oil means petroleum in any form include crude oil, fuel oil, sludge, oil refuse in refined product other than petrochemicals, which are substance to the provision of Annex 2 of the present conversation, and without limiting the generality of the foregoing include the substance listed in Appendix 1 to this annex. Crude oil means any liquid hydrocarbon mixture occurring naturally in dirt whether or not treated to render unsuitable for transportation include crude oil from which certain distilled fraction may have been removed and crude oil to which certain distilled fraction may have been added. Oil means oil mixture means a mixture with any oil content. Oil fuel means any used as fuel in connection with the propulsion in auxiliary machinery of the ship in which such oil is carried. Oil tanker means a ship constructed or adapted primarily to carry oil in bulk in its cargo space include the combination carries. Any NLCS tanker as defined in Annex 2 of the present conviction and any gas carrier as defined in Regulation 3.20 of Chapter 2.1 of SOLAS 70 as amended when carrying a cargo or part cargo of oil in bulk. Crude oil tanker means an oil tanker engaged in the trade of carrying crude oil. Product carry means an oil tanker engaged in the trade of carrying oil other than crude oil. Combination carry means a ship designed to carry either or solid cargoes in the bulk. Nearest land. The term from the nearest land means from the baseline from which the territorial sea of the territory in which question is established in accordance with international law. Special area means a sea area where for recognized technical reason in relation to its oceanographical and ecological condition and to the particular character of its traffic. The adoption of special migratory method for the prevention of sea pollution by all is required. Nearest land. The term from the nearest land means from the baseline from which the territory in question special area it means in instantaneous rate of discharge of oil contains means the rate of discharge of oil each liter are at any instant divided by the speed of the ship in knots at the same instant. Tank means enclosed space with which is formed by the permanent structure of ship in which is designed for the carriage of liquid in bulk. Wing tank means wing tank means any tank adjacent adjacent to the side shell contained. Sentry tank means an any tank inboard of a longitudinal bulkhead. Slab tank means a tank specifically designed for the collection of tank draining, tank washing, and other oily mixtures. Clean ballast means the ballast in tank which since oil was last carried therein has been so cleaned that effluent therefore if the if it were discharged from a ship which is stationary into clean ca- calm water at a clear day they would not produce visible traces of oil on the surface of the water or on adjoining shellings of coarse sludge or emulsion to be deposited beneath the surface of the water upon adjoining a shoreless. In the ballast is discharged throughout an oil discharge monitoring and control system approved by the administration evidence based on such a system that to the effect that the oil content of the effluent did not exceed 15 parts per million shall be determinative that the ballast was clean, nothing not washingtoning the presence of visible trace segregated ballast means the ballast with water introduced into the tank which is completely separated from the cargo oil in oil fuel system which is permanently relocated to the carriage of ballast or to the carriage of ballast or other than oil or noxious liquid substance as variously defined in the annexes of the present conviction. Length L means 96% of the total length on a water length at 85% of the length multi depth measured from the top of the keel or the length from the foreside of the stem to the axis of that rudder tank on that water line. If that be greater in shape, designed with a rack of kill, the water on which mixture shall be parallel to the design water line. The length shall be mixture in meters. Forward and after perpendicular shall be taken at the forward and after ends of the line. The forward perpendicular shall coincide with the foresight of the stem on the water line on which the length is short. A mid-aim shape at the middle of the line. Break means the mixture breadth of the shape measured and any shape to the mid and to the molded line of the frame in a shape with metal shell up to the outer surface of the hole in shape with shell of any other material that weight shall be measured in meters. Dead weight means the difference in tons between the displacement of a ship in water of a relative density of 1.025 at the load water line, corresponding to the assigned summer freeboard and the length width of the ship. Lightweight means the displacement of the ship in ton without cargo fuel, lubricating oil, ballast water, fresh water, and in feed water in the tank, consumable storage in passenger and crew in their effects. Permeability of space means the ratio of the volume within the space which is assumed to be occupied by water to the total volume of that space. Volume at areas in a ship should be calculated in all closest to molded line. Anniversary date means the day and the month of each year which will correspond to the date of expiry of the International Oil Pollution Prevent Certificate. Parts per, parts per million ppm means the part of oil per million parts of water by volume. Constructed means a ship that keel of which is lead or which is at a similar stage of construction. Regulation to application. Unless expressly provided otherwise, the provision of the Annex shall apply to all ships. In ships other than oil tanker fitted with cargo space which are constructed and utilized to carry oil in bulk of a great capacity of 200 cubic meters or more, where a cargo subject to the provision of Annex 2 of the present conviction is carried in the cargo space of an oil tanker. Regulation 3. Exemption and waivers. Any ship such as hydrofoil, air cushion vehicle, near surface craft and submarine craft, etc., which constructional features are such as the reader the application of any of the provision of Chapter 3 and Chapter 4 of this annex relating to construction and equipment unreasonable or impractical may be expanded by the administration from such provisions provided that the construction equipment of that ship provides equal protection agent pollution by oil having regard to the service for which is ended. Regulation for exception. Number 1, Regulation 15 in 34 of this annex shall not apply to the discharge into the sea of oil or oily mixture necessary for the purpose of securing the safety of a ship or saving life at sea, or the discharge into the sea of oil or oily mixture resulting from damage to a ship or its equipment. 2.1 provided that all reasonable precautions have been taken after the occurrence of damage or discovery of the discharge from the purpose of prevention or minimize the discharge. And 2.2, except if the owner or the master acted either with intent to cause damage or reckless and with knowledge that damage could probably result, or 2.3, the discharge into the sea of substance containing oil provided by the administration with being used for the purpose of combating specific pollution in the incident in order to minimize the damage from pollution. In any such discharge shall be subject to the approval on any government in which jurisdiction it is contemplative that discharge will occur. Regulation 5. The administration may allow any fitting, material, appliance, or apparatus to be fitted in a ship as an alternative to that required by this annex of such fitting material, appliance, or apparatus at least as effective as that required by this annex. This authority of the administration shall not extend to substitution of operational methods to effect the control of discharge of oil as equivalent to this design in construction feature which are prescribed by regulation in this annex. The administration which allowed fitting material, appliance, or apparatus to be fitted in a ship an alternative to that required by this annex shall communicate particular therefore of the organization for circulation too. Regulation 6, Surveys. Every oil tanker of 150 gross tonnage and above in other ship of 400 gross tonnage and above shall be subject to the surveys specified below. An initial survey, a renewal survey, an intermediate survey, an annual survey, an additional survey. Ensure that the necessary survey shall be complied. Enforcement of survey by administration of nominated surveyors. Nominated surveyors is responsible for the competence of the expected ship. The condition of the ship shall be maintained to comply the requirements throughout service. Regulation 7. Issue or endorsement of certificate. An international oil pollution prevention certificate shall be issued after an annual or renewal survey accordance with the provision of Regulation 6 of this annex to any oil of 150 gross tonnage and above in any other ship of 400 gross tonnage in above which in engage in voyage to parts of offshore terminal under the jurisdiction of other parties to the present convention. Certificate shall be issued of endorsed as appropriate either by the administration or by an persons or organization duly authorized by it. In every case, that administration assumes full responsibility for the certificate. Regulation 8. Issue or endorsement of certificate by other government. The government of the party to the present convention may at the, the required or the administration cause a ship to be certified and if certified that the provision of this annex are compliant with shall issue or authorize the issue of an international oil pollution prevention certificate to the ship and where appropriate endorse or authorize that endorsement of that certificate of the ship in accordance with this annex. A copy of the certificate and a copy of the survey transmitted as soon as possible to the requesting administration. A certificate so issued shall contain a statement to the effect that it has been issued at the request of the administration and it shall have the same force and receive the same regulation as the certificate issued under Regulation 7 of this annex. No international oil pollution prevention certificate shall be issued to a ship which intend to fly the flag or state which is not party. Regulation 9 Form of Certificate. The International Oil Pollution Prevention Certificate shall be drawn up in the form corresponding the model given in Appendix 2 to this annex and shall be at least in English, French, or Spanish. If an official language of the Chapter 2 survey certificate issue country as also used, this shall prevail in case of dispute of discrepancy. In the case where the form of the IOPP certificate of its supplement is this amendment does not cause a shortening of the validity of the shape which is current which the amendment enters into the force may remain valid until the expiry of that certificate provided that at the first survey after the date of entry into force at the amendment necessary change are indicated in the exciting certificate or supplement by the means of suitable correction, e.g. striking or the invalid entry in typing the new entry. Regulation 10 Duration and validity of certificate. An international oil pollution prevention certificate shall be issued of for a period certified by the administration which shall not exceed 5 years. Certain circumstances of requirements extension or applications based on the regulations stipulated from validity. Regulation 11 Port State on operation requirements. Another party can expect that ship concer- concerning operation requirements can be done. The party should ensure the compliance of the ship. Party limit and obligation can supersede the administration. Regulation 12 tank for oil residue sludge. Every shell of 400 gross tons and above shall be provided with a tank of adequate capacity having regard to the type of machinery and of voyage to receive the oil residues sludge which cannot be dealt with otherwise accordance with the requirements of this annex such as those resulting from the purification of oil in lubrication oil in oil leakage in the canary space. Piping to and forms large tank shall have no direct connection overboard other than the standard discharge connection refused to the regulation 13 in ship delivered after 31 December 1973 79 as defined as regulation 1.28.2 tanks for oil residues shall be designed and constructed so as to facilitate their cleaning and discharge of residues reception facilities ship delivered on before 31 December 1979 as defined under Regulation 1.28.1 shall comply with these requirements as far as reasonable and practicable. Regulation 13 Standard Discharge Connection to enable copies of reception facilities to be connected with the ship. Start pipeline for residues from machinery bilge inform sludge tank. Both lines shall be fitted with a standard discharge connection in accordance with the following table. Standard dimension of flange for discharge connection. Dimension 2.215 millimeter outside diameter. Inner diameter according to pipe outside diameter. Bolt circle diameter is 183 millimeter. Slot in flange is 6 holes 20 millimeter in diameter equidistantly placed on both circle of above diameter slots to the flange periphery the slot with to be 22 millimeter. Flange thickness 20 millimeter. Bolt and nuts quantity diameter 6 is 6 each of 20 millimeter diameter and of staple light. Regulation 14 Oil filtering equipment. All ship of 400 GT above, ships such as hotel ship, storage vessel or stationary may not have an oil filtering equipment provided that it has a holding tank and be discharging to reception facility.
Ship less than 400 GT may discharge under conditions led by the regulation of convection. All filtering equipment must be type approved by the administration 100 ppm rule. All filtering Oil filtering equipment must be equipped with an alarm. Regulation 15 Control of discharge of oil. Discharge outside special areas. The ship is proceeding en route. The only mixture is proceed throughout an oil filtering equipment meeting the requirements of Regulation 14 of this Annex. The oil content of the effluent without dilution does not exceed 15 parts per billion. Oil filtering equipment must be equipped with an alarm. The only mixture does not originate originate from cargo pub from village on oil tanker and the only mixture in coast of oil tanker is not mixed with oil cargo reside. Discharge in special area shall comply regulations state above. No discharge of oil in the Antarctic, Antarctic, Atlantic. Regulation 16 segregation of oil and water ballast and carriage of oil in 4 peak tank. Ship delivered after 31 December 1973, no ballast tank shall be carried in the fuel tank. If the need to carry large quantities of fuel shall be stored in a ballast tank, it shall be discharged to stored in the ballast ship 400 GT and above with a building contract of January 1982, all shall not be carried the 4 peak tank or pollution bulkhead. All ships shall comply to the provision. Regulation 19 Oil Record Book Part 1 Stationary Space Operation. Every oil tanker of 150 gross tons above, every ship of 400 tons and above, the oil record book that one shall be complied on each occasion. Entry shall contain with this operation: number 1. Ballasting or cleaning of oil fuel tank. Discharge of dirty ballast or cleaning water from oil fuel tank. 3. Collection and disposal of oil residues, sludge, and other residues. 4. Discharge overboard or disposal otherwise of dirty water which has accumulated in machinery space. 5. 1. Carrying of fuel or bulk lubricating oil. The regulation segregate ballast tank. Concern to the construction of project include oil tankers, cigarette ballast tank. Qualification of a tanker to have a cigarette ballast tank. Protection of cigarette ballast tank. The capacity of the cigarette tank shall be determined that the ship may operate safety on ballast voyage without recourse to the use of cargo tanks for water ballast except provided for in paragraph 3. Use for cargo tank for water ballast except of provision of 3 or 4 of this regulation in all cases. However, the capacity of cigarette ballast tank shall be at the least such that in any ballast condition at any part of the voyage included that condition consisting lightweight plus segregation ballast only the ship's direct broad and trim. Regulation 19-220 double hull and double bottom requirements apply to all tanker of 700 deadweight and above delivered on after 6 July 1996. Apply to all tanker of 600 deadweight above delivered on upon composed of design and construction of double hull provision constraining compliance to the regulation. Purpose of a double hull and double bottom. Naman, purpose of the double hull is to produce probability of oil fuel outflow following collision of trucking. Regulation 21. Provision of oil pollution from oil tanker carrying heavy grade oil as cargo. Applied to all tankers of 600 tons deadweight in above carrying heavy grade oil as cargo. Regulate list of the date delivery. Crude oil definition based on the regulation. Certified requirements have been made for exception regarding construction and design. The right of the administration to renew the regulation. Purpose of double hull and double bottom. Denial of party for tanker to enter their jurisdiction. Regulation 22. Pump from bottom protection applies to all tanker of 5,000 ton deadweight in above constructed on after 1 January 1007. The pump room shall be provided with double bottom. The pump room location minimal weight sufficient suction from double bottom tank. Condition of pump room during flooding. Regulation 23. Accidental oil outflow. Performance applies to all tankers delivered on after 1 January 1010. Protection against oil pollution of event of collision or standing. Calculation of the main oil afterflow parameter. Combination of oil flow parameter. Means outflow or side damage. Means outflow or bottom damage. Ability of breaching a compartment. Probabilities approach of outflow. Popping argument. Regulation 24. Damage assumption. Calculating hypothetical oil outflow from an oil tanker and the assumption of damage that may occur. Regulation 15 Regulation 15 hypothetical outflow of oil. Calculation of overflow or of oil in case of damage. Calculated based on volume of definite tank. Double bottom not extended to full length. Section well requirements. Pumping requirements. Regulation limitation of size and agreement of cargo tanks shall be of such size in arrangement that the hypothetical outflow or OC or OS calculate in accordance with the provision of Regulation 25, those not exceed 3,000 cubic meters each shared by 4,000 cubic meters. Cargo oil tank of of an oil tanker shall not exceed 75% of the limits of the hypothetical and outlaw. The length of each cargo tank shall not exceed 10 meter. Bulge arrangement shall be provided for acceleration of tank. Thank you, that's all.